Hey everyone, just back with you today just to share with what I've made. I won a giveaway from Sew Gracious a few months ago, and I didn't know what to do with the book, with the stuff that I won. This is what I made using some of her stuff and my stuff. I'm possibly gonna use more of the letters. I only used a little bit of them. I used some of these, but this is all the stuff I have left over that I haven't used or decided to put in yet. I cut up one of the bags. I've got one bag left, and the glitter, and I've got a couple papers left of the sticky back stuff, and then the glitter. So that's all I have left. I use mostly everything in this book. I did the binding. I saw, I think, Tamika at Scrapdaworld did. I know a lot of people have been doing it, but as you can see, this mini is pretty big. And it was my first attempt at trying this, so this kind of binding. So here's what I did with the paper bag. I still haven't stamped the back with my handmade stamp, but as you can see, it's pretty thick. So I used the bingo card and distressed it with, the only distressed inks I used in here was Weathered Wood, Brushed Corduroy, and Vintage Photo. And that's what I distressed mostly everything with. And that's what I did with the dress form. Then I used the buttons, the bingo stuff, and then I put some of this cording that was on the tag, and I wrapped it around here. And the stick pin that was on one of the tags. So on the inside, I put in here to remind myself it holds about 52 photos. So here's the first page. It's pretty simple. It's got the bird cage and the bird, and then the memories. On here, I use my cardstock for that. Distress this a little bit, and my bling. And this is my bling from Michael's. It's that grayish color, and then on the inside it's just plain, and they're all different colors, but so I won't, just to let you know, they're all plain cardstock. Here I distressed and I stamped this stamp on there. Oops, I think something came off somewhere. Okay, I used this stamp and I put it on there on the page, and then I just tucked it back in. And one of the bingo pieces, the wooden ones, and then I put the little clear one here on one of the letters. Then I used my stamp for this, the trim that was in there, the ruffle trim. And then these are my tags from tag swaps that I've done, and all I did was distress them and stuck them in there, made a pocket. This is what I like about you. The buttons that were in it, butterfly charm. Then here is a functional frame from my die cuts. Pulled it from my stash. The trim that was in there, and the wooden domino. Some of the leftover bag that I cut apart. One of the chipboard buttons. Just distressed it with the same ink. Same here. Used some of my fibers. Then I just hot glued them all on here. Here's another notepad, and here's those beads that I turned into like a flower. These little teardrops. I just hot glued each one and put a bling on top, and I made a flower, which is really cute. Here's another one of my tags from a tag swap. It goes in there, and I just had the Stampin' Up! Punch, and all I did was add, I just cut it so it wouldn't round off into the picture. Here's an ATC tag that someone made me, and I just added it to here. My ATC binders are getting so full. And then you can stick a photo behind here. Here is an acetate piece with, and I use my red bling. There's me, hello! And I added my bling to the flowers, and I wrapped it around, and it's functional, so you can add a picture down here, and it says key to my heart, and I added the key right there. Here I just used the cards and I hot glued them all together like that. Then I glued them on, and then I used some of my flowers. And then here's one of the cards with the envelope, and I just did a plain, simple cover. And then you can add photos to the sides, and it just tucks right in there. And it's the craft card stuck envelopes. And then here's some more tags for my tag swaps. Finally getting to use them, and I just stressed them. Here's another one of the flowers I made. And then this is a stick pin, and I just cut it with my wire cutters, and I used it there. Here's you can put a picture behind here. And then here's another one of the acetate pieces, and I just put it on there. Added my bling to the flowers. Giggle. Here's another ATC card, and I used. It's really cool. Put a picture behind there. Here's pretty simple pages. I just use these tags. It says location, description, and date. And just a little tag to go in there. Then here's another one. It says thoughts. Okay, and here's the back page. And I just used that, and I just covered the back piece with the adhesive cardstock that it came with in the kit. And all these papers are like textured. This one's like leathery, and then these ones are like a metallic. So there was a metallic and the leathery, and I used up all the leathery, and now I just have the metallic left over. So I kind of did the same thing on both sides. So they're the same, and then you can stick pictures behind both. And then here's a stamped image that I got in a swap, or no, in a rack, and I just went ahead and stuck it in the frame, and I just dressed the frame. And I did another one of my flowers on there using those little pearls. And then I totally used the rest of the flowers on this to make a dress. So it looks really cute. I love it. I'm like, I want to make a dress that looks like that. So, and then you can just take the picture here and then slide partial in the inside of it so it can tuck under. Okay, the last plate, just 2 more tags from a tag swap. And then the leftover bag. I only have like a tiny piece of that bag left in here. Then I just did some buttons on the bottom. On the last page, all I did was take some of the ribbon, and I, made a bow. And then the part of the bingo card in the front, this part was still there, so I didn't want to waste it. Here's some more of the leftover of the bag. It says trust. Just a simple front. And then that's it, and that's the book that I made using So Gracious's giveaway. I may add, some words like I said, but I like it the way it is. So there's the book. It's a big chunky album book. So thanks for watching, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Bye!